Uh, over to ReZero. Going in the show. Um, I,
yeah.
I don't know. This episode, like, it feels like we're finally starting to close a lot of the loops that we opened from like this season 2. So we finally got the resolution for Garfield. So I'm glad, like, hopefully that's out of the way. And I'm more excited about like basically the cliffhanger or the last scene where Amelia talks with Kedna. That's like what I'm way more interested in than whatever happened in this episode because I really don't care about Garfield. So
Yeah, I just can't wait for him to never be on the screen ever again. But now it looks like he's
Damn.
joining their
Wow.
party. So
That's
Dude, this guy got left.
what did
abandoned by his
what did my
mom.
man do to you guys? Like,
Yeah, dude, cut him some slack.
the
Holy shit.
backstory meant nothing. Like, he
No,
cares
what?
for his family.
What was the part? There was one part we laughed at, but I don't remember what it was.
I laughed at all of it. Like I just
Oh.
wanted him to die the whole time, and then he joined their party, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I wasn't that
I think I'm
intense
just
about it.
biased against Bakugo's voice actor. Like I don't like obnoxious characters like him.
I thought that's why he was awesome. Because first I was like, okay, this guy seems cool,
I
but now
don't
I'm like, okay,
no.
I don't like. I actually don't dislike him. I'm fine with him. I have really nothing against him. But
Yeah,
Here's my issue. I've been confused about the role that Garfield plays this entire time because at one point, somebody at some point said something about how he had some sort of a special relationship with a female. The way they described it was very ambiguous and confusing, and I couldn't figure out if it was romantic or who it was about, or I thought it was about Echidna, but that was wrong. And then I thought maybe it was the little pink-haired thing, but because I still don't understand why she's
Ryuzu,
there or
the
what
clones?
she.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I still don't understand why she's there. What the like is there actually like is there an actual point to her other than just like some extra contrived plot for this sanctuary area? Because she seems pointless, and I feel bad saying that because she's freaking adorable. But like
I think it's
overall
just
to the series, does she matter?
They
Isn't she,
might.
like, isn't she like the guardian of the sanctuary? Isn't that like her main role?
Yeah,
She's
that's what I had
she's
thought,
like
right?
she's one of like Echidna's like I don't know, is it apostle or
No, they're
disciple, or-
they're the first successful product of the Immortality Project, I guess.
Mhm.
or
Okay,
something
yeah.
like that.
Basically,
I remember that.
homunculus, pretty much. Just
Yeah.
human clones.
Homunculus. That helps. Thank you for
Yeah.
that reference.
Yes.
But then like there's Garfield, and I never could understand like why he's so wrapped up with all these people, like why he's got his hands in everything, why he's so mad at everybody all the time. Like I just feel like I feel like they were really done a disservice in terms of the directing of the show, and also the fact that there was a break between each part too, because I never really felt like I was able to put all the different pieces together for me.
Mhm.
And so, but by the time that that this episode comes around and he's mad and fighting again, I'm like, oh, for God's sake, when will this be done?
Yeah. I guess the thing for me too, like when they revealed how old Garfield actually is, like that didn't really do anything for me, I guess. I was just like, that's the age I thought he was. When
Yeah.
it's like that whole big reveal, like, oh my God, he's like an 8th grader. I was like, I mean, it kind of looks like
sense.
that. Like, makes
Acts like
sense.
it as well, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so I can get
Super-
like that explains why, you know, he's so like brash and kind of like narrow-minded into like, this is the only way I know how to fix things. Like I just reject, it's all or nothing, you know, when you're at that younger age. You don't really have this ability to you know, think about different routes and options and stuff. So I can kind of understand that, but yeah.
I think for me, like a lot of the confusion, it's because the loops and the redos, like
That
like
too.
ReZero, we
Yeah.
do so many of them. Like it's hard to know like what is the canon or what happened versus like what's
Yeah.
been done before. So
That could be it. That could be my problem, because that's my problem for why I don't like time travel stuff generally. It just gets too murky.
Mhm.
And
Sure.
this is
so
similar.
that's like my problem with this loop is like Subaru, he made the decision to not rely on it, but then I always have to constantly remind myself like what actually happened in this timeline, like what is he doing, like that's canon. And I think it's also the split, the season split. I think like it happened during this canon timeline, so it was hard to keep track of what was happening as well. So
Mhm.
so that's part of it
For
too.
sure.
What did you guys think of like the fight between Subaru and Garfield, where we see like Subaru again like using his, is it Shamak, like the shadow affinity power, and then he used the
Yeah.
imminent domain hand or
Something,
whatever
yeah.
he called
I
the
don't know.
move. I can't remember the name.
Armor at its finest, basically.
I mean, partially, right? But then, do we try to read like too much into it? Because it was Beetlegeist that had those arms as well, right?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
just might
Yeah.
not remember like what the relation is, like how Subaru is related in a way to Betelgeuse, or it's kind of like the next apostle
No.
of.
I thought it was something with like a mark of the witch, or something with like being like a
Greed. It was
witch's
supposed to
scent.
be.
I don't
It
know.
was
Yeah,
supposed to be
right?
affiliated with greed somehow, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I didn't
Is
know
it?
like if there's like things where it's like Subaru is potentially an apostle, kind of like those apostles that we were introduced to at the beginning.
Okay,
of
I
this
thought this whole
season.
time it was because his whole thing with Satellia and his like redo thing. I thought all his like his dark magic comes from her. I didn't
See,
know
did
if it
they-
was related to
Yeah,
to
and it
Echidna.
very well could be, and I'm
Yeah,
just like not paying close enough attention, but.
Did they ever like mention like where it came from? I knew he was using it, but I never actually knew like
When he
how it
was
came
getting
to
like
be.
appraised by Puck, whatever, he said he only had like the darkness affinity, whatever.
Yeah, but how is he getting like these abilities? Like how is he like knowing to use?
I mean, we
Somehow.
always kind of knew about like the smoke screen or like the ability to like
Yeah.
slightly disorient enemies. I think we had seen that in previous seasons, but we'd
Yeah.
never seen the hands, right? We just saw
Yeah.
like in the last season, like Subaru could see the hands, and that's why he was able to dodge
So
like Beetlegoose's
yeah, so,
attack.
and the hands that was before Echidna, so I assume it's because he has the return by death from Satellia. I thought
Mhm.
all of that came from whatever Satellia put in him.
Did her? Yeah,
So
could be.
so I'm thinking like it's all come from Satellia, like whatever powers he
Um,
has or darkness
oh,
affinity.
I wouldn't doubt, but I actually would still like a little bit more of an explanation.
See, stuff like that, like the lore.
Yeah.
I relate that more to the lore, and that's what more I'm interested in ReZero. Like, I don't really care much for the characters.
You mean you
How
don't want to
much?
know? You don't want to know Garfield's backstory?
Doesn't really. I mean, even last week for Otto, like I really didn't care much for Otto's.
I liked
It's
Otto.
because-
How dare you?
It's just because like
Garfield
he's
and
like
Otto is in a
he's
different
like,
league,
well,
right?
yeah, it's because Otto's likable, but again, it's like I'm not here for the characters. I just want to know about the lore.
Mhm.
See, I first
So,
like
that's why
like
the witches are my favorite because they're part of the lore.
I
No,
like
it's 'cause they're
Garfield too.
hot.
'Cause I like Garfield
you,
too
man.
because I like angry characters, but then now I'm kind of just done with it because again, like the show has been feeling like it's just like it hasn't gone forward for forever.
Well,
Now I
yeah.
just
see,
want it to move.
See, I
We
didn't
need new characters again.
I didn't have that problem when we had the witches or the Tea Party because that was for me. I was moving forward because I was learning so much more about the world and how it works and explaining a little bit why Subaru's in the situation he's in.
That's not it. You were just excited that 6 new chicks
That
came
was-
out on the
okay,
screen.
again, that's you, bro.
Me?
That's
Me?
you and Sren.
Uh,
That's
Uh-huh,
why I'm
right.
more excited when Amelia is meeting with Ketna because I want to know more about the witches lore. So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, David.
Yes. Yes.
That's me winking.
so, so then
Oh my
I
god.
take it then,
Yeah.
David, the whole part when Amelia walks into the trial and stuff, and she sees like all of the carvings from Subaru that he did for her that did kind of nothing for you. It's kind of just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Taylor
Glad
liked
for
it.
her to continue to support her, right?
Because the confession
Taylor
scene from last
enjoyed
week
that
was
part.
so.
That was so cute. Oh my god, I thought that was the sweetest thing ever.
Oh,
I think
that's
the
what
only
makes you
the
happy?
only thing that I
Okay.
thought
All
was
right.
funny from it was just how Garfield had seen it before, like Amelia
Oh,
had, and
yeah.
so he was just like, "Yeah, I saw it." And then Subaru like freaks out that an 8th grader like saw like him basically writing all these like lovey-dovey things
Oh,
on the
is
wall.
that what he was freaking
Oh no,
out about?
I thought it was the kiss. I thought he saw them kissing.
No, I think
and
That's what I
Yes.
thought. too.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it the kiss? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because literally when they finished kissing or whatever and they walked out, he was literally
Oh,
just
and he's
standing
there.
there
Yeah,
waiting.
he's probably.
Yeah.
So then I just imagine they're, he's like Subaru and Amelia, pouring their hearts out to each other, and then there's just Garfield like off screen just a little bit, like peeking around the corner, like,
Like fucking
Okay.
little creeper.
yeah, he's like, I'm gonna use this for
Yeah.
dirt.
It would have been really cool if they'd actually thrown that in. Like, had it be
Oh
super,
my God.
super in the
Oh.
background where you wouldn't even notice. That would have been cute.
Maybe in the next episode they'll do a flashback or something. I
Right.
don't know, but
The guy's in 8th grade, but he has his bounds. He knows where to not be.
yeah.
See, I love all these characters, and I find the lore really interesting. My only issue really is I can't say I love all the characters. Let me take that back. I
was
love
gonna say.
enough of the characters that that's not an issue for me. And I'm very interested in the lore. My issue is really just with the pacing and the story, like the way that they're telling and explaining it.
Mhm.
Like the fact that we're sitting here debating what is this power that Subaru has? How long has he had it? Where did he get it from? I mean, I'd forgotten he had it, which is on me clearly because you all remembered. But like, it just, I feel like maybe just a really good like video, like a ReZero explained video
Mhm.
would be helpful.
Yeah, I
Or
feel
at
like
least
this
up to this point with no spoilers.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those episodes where you kind of need to read the light novel or whatever to kind of get more backstory because it felt
Mhm.
very rushed.
Or Reddit. You
Mhm.
can do Reddit too. I'm sure that they'll fill you in. Hopefully not, spoil anything.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
that's
not
one
going
of
anywhere near Reddit.
one of the
No.
things that I really like with Attack on Titan. You know, where all those kind of like middle scene cuts give you more lore background to either what's going on or even just normally to the world itself. I would wish a lot of more animes would do that.
Yeah. And I mean, part of it with Attack on Titan too, and other ones, is sometimes you have to just trust that they'll tell you at some point. Because some anime, they have their different ways of giving you that, but they'll eventually you learn after you go through a couple arcs. I know I'll get this information when I need it, and you can roll with it and not get sidetracked mentally. But ReZero is so all over the fucking place with their lore that I just don't know.
I just don't even know enough, like from the light novel perspective, like where are we pacing wise with the anime? Like, do we just have like a shit ton of stuff still to learn about that'll eventually hopefully have these lore drops? It's like you said, you know.
We still have so much.
So that's good. That gives good faith that you know things will be explained. Because right now I'm kind of just like,
I think a lot of the pacing problem too, like when compared to Attack on Titan, is like it's manga versus light novel. Whereas I feel like light novels are so like they place so much more emphasis on lore that they'll eventually tell you later, but like we usually never get to it. So I think that's why in anime, like mangas usually become better adapted because like you feel like you do end up getting the story, whereas light novels just feel like you're always missing something.
Yeah, because I read 2 of the ReZero books, and it felt very different than watching the show. Like what they tell you and what you pick up for emotional responses from characters, and it's just so completely different than watching the show. Whereas if you were picking up Attack on Titan, it's panel for panel the same. So basically, for the most part,
that's why I noticed with a lot of light novels in general is like their main hook is always the first 4 volumes, like basically the first season, and then they hope that like it gets popular enough where like they can then tell you what's really going on. So I think we're hitting that point with ReZero. So
I was going to say to last note, like, do we think that the end of this part of the season is going to be them getting out of the sanctuary?
It has.
Finally, like,
I hope so.
Because I'm trying to think, like, you know, you're going to have next episode hopefully focus on Amelia and Echidna, like, very directly. And then you think that, okay, Amelia passes the trial, which they can get out of the sanctuary, which hopefully would change the situation with Frederica and the assassin that shows up at the mansion and all that. I feel like there's a lot of stuff to still.
Well, this whole season started off with Rem losing her memories and no one remembering her.
Yeah, right. That's
so it's like that whole thing is pushed off the side because we can't do any of that. And the two like sins, I forgot like what they were, but like
I think it was like pride and gluttony.
Yeah, like those two, like they're way off to like till later because I'm guessing like after this, it's just gotta be focused on. I feel like the royal selection is gonna be important now that Amelia, or like that Subaru made up his mind to help Amelia do that. I feel like that's more precedence, and ripped all the Rem fans. I feel like we're not gonna see her for like a long time.
No. Let's.
We're not even gonna get that either. Like there was that little arc thing that you were talking about with the
royal selection. I think that's like a season 3 thing. Yeah, it just feels like season 2 is just them.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way.
Yeah,
there's way too much.
I feel like in order it has to be Sanctuary solved, and then Dimension incident solved, and then Rem solved. Unless they throw something up in there.
Do you think the thing was
solved for a while?
Yeah.
And I don't think they're ever going to come back to like the Roswell situation for a while now, right? Because they kind of covered like an episode of this, them both being like, "Hey, yeah, you have the same ability as me. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna go defy what you couldn't do, or whatever."
I feel like it might be the finale because the bet that Subaru made with Roswell was that I bet you I can save both parties and have everything I want.
Oh, right.
I mean, whatever. I think Roswell will still be relevant just because like when it was revealed that he's like a follower of Echidna, like I feel like Echidna and her crew is gonna be like more important going forward, especially since like everyone is so involved now, like with Roswell and the Sanctuary.
There's so many things to cover, and there's only 9 episodes left.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, holy crap, I completely forgot about all those things. I was like, dude, no way.
What's the name of the little blonde girl who's in the library? Like, that's a whole nother, Beatrice. That's a whole nother plot line as well, right?
I forgot about her.
I know. So.
Well, actually, I'm more surprised that Puck was still in that one crystal. I thought he was gone forever, but he's still.
Oh, yeah. I was super confused about that too.
So I don't know what he's. I don't know if he can come back to Amelia or anything, like get a new contract.
I didn't explain.
I wonder if they're gonna explain that. Otherwise, I'm gonna assume that like because I think they said Beatrice was a spirit, so I think she's gonna make a contract with Amelia or something, so she can get a new one. So, because I think that's how they're gonna save her. So we'll see.
Dude, I was saying that too,
Yeah.
but in a sense, I thought Subaru was gonna make a contract with Beatrice. That's what I
really?
kept thinking. Like, I kept thinking that was gonna happen because
Hmm.
I remember at some point they kind of like they were talking about contracts and stuff. I was like, dude, he's gonna make a contract with Beatrice. I don't know if
Okay.
that's.
I
even
didn't know there's like a
technically how
special
it
like
happened, but-
condition because I know Amelia's she's a spirit user. I didn't know if you had to like have some
I
sort of
have no
condition to
idea.
meet that.
Yeah.
So
We don't fucking know.
That's just
Alright,
another thing. Yeah, we don't know
Let's
enough
go.
about
Let's
the
just go.
world. What it's fine, not
So-
fine.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many questions.
so
Like
I
it's
think
like. Yeah, I'll be done.
I'll just say like I think like that's why this show is probably better to binge than to watch weekly. Even though I didn't
maybe
I
digest it
didn't enjoy
every week,
watching
no?
the director's cut weekly, but that's because I knew everything.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing, like when I tell people to watch season 1 and stuff, the fact that they can binge it now. Like if I had to
Yeah.
go back and watch season 1 week by week and deal with,
That was rough.
Subaru repeating the first episode like 5 times, it'd be very rough and a hard
Yeah.
sell
Yeah.
for people.
also I still want to like I don't know talk shit to all the people who are talking shit about Subaru. It's like man, if you're in
I
his
still do.
situation, like you would not last. Like you wouldn't last either.
All right, bro. Anime plot, so it doesn't really apply.
All right, so I think that's it for our round ReZero. Hopefully the pacing picks up because it's hard to do this weekly.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a bunch of other shows to talk about.
Yes, we do. So yeah,
Yes, Brian.
that's it for ReZero. We'll